Hey there, this is Elizabeth from Gabriel Family Adventures, and I'm in full mom mode today with my flannel, my Rothy's, and I'm going to talk to you about why the Model 3, our newest car, is perfect for all of you moms out there who are constantly driving to school, to sports, dance class, you name it. So I'm going to go over some features that I love and some things I learned about this car now that we've had it for a few days. So let's check it out. Alright, so to get in, what's really cool is that you get a key card, which is basically like a credit card. So you can use that and just swipe it here, or you can program your phone so that whenever you're close to your car, it will detect your phone, and then you just press this and pull it open. It can be a little tricky to get used to, especially if you have a bunch of stuff in your hands, like I always seem to do. To get used to the motion, but after a few times of practicing, then you'll be able to get it. And so the window will roll down just a touch to give it a little bit of air. And when you get in, what's nice is that you can program the Tesla to be programmed to you specifically. The seat, the mirrors, and the steering wheel will all adjust to your specific programming. So come on in and I'll show you how it works. My husband was driving this before me, and so what you can do is change the user settings from him to me, and since I'm way shorter, everything adjusts. The mirrors adjust, the steering wheel adjusts, and so now it's ready for my settings. And if I ever want to change anything, if I want to change the mirrors, you just do that on this screen. This screen holds absolutely everything, and you'll save it, and then the next time you get in, it'll go to that setting, which is pretty awesome. Alright, so for you parents out there, we have 2 kids. If we had more, maybe we get the SUV if it was in our price range. But in the back, it holds 2 car seats very easily. And so to put them in, it's your same basic setup as any other car, where you can do the clips at the bottom. There's actually a secure hook at the top that you put the car seat in, because it's not like an SUV where you loop it all the way to the back. But the one downside to this car, because it is a small sedan, is that middle seat, so technically speaking it fits 5 people. If you've got 2 car seats, it does not fit 5 people. So if you have older kids who are maybe in just the simple boosters, you could probably fit a third in the middle there. But if you've got the 2 monster car seats like we do for our 4 and 6-year-olds, that's pretty much all you're going to fit in this car is a family of 4. So don't believe the hype, you're not going to fit 3 people back there. But the other thing I noticed, because I did kind of sit back here to check it out, is I wish that there were cup holders. So my kids have cup holders for their drinks and stuff, but as they grow out of those, I wish there was 1 or 2 cup holders maybe in the back of the center console, but there isn't. All there are the air vents. So I do think that was kind of a missed opportunity by Tesla to put some cup holders in the back. Alright, so what's kind of crazy about this car, and something that's taking me some getting used to, is you don't have a key. And so now I feel like whenever I go somewhere, I feel like I'm missing something because I'm not carrying a key around and a keychain with some other stuff on it. But I think I'll get used to it pretty quickly. So you use your phone for everything. So like I said earlier, you can program to actually unlock the car from your phone. So that's right here. You can also pop your trunks with your phone. And I say trunks plural because there's a trunk in the front of the car as well as the back, because since you're only running on a battery and not some huge engine, you've got space in the front of your car for a little something. So all you have to do here is go to controls and then front trunk. I press this little button and I say, yes, I do want to open it, and ka-chow, that's how it opens. It's a lightning McQueen joke, if you get it. And so you've got this kind of little space in the front, and what the gal said at the dealership is that this is a popular area for groceries, so if you have a few groceries, putting them in here, you can even clip the grocery bags if you want to secure them in place, because sometimes if you only have a few things and you put your groceries in the trunk, they move all over the place and possibly break, you know, your eggs or whatnot. So this is a place you can put some smaller things. Maybe you could hide some presents here because no one's going to look here. Whatever you choose to do. And now this little tag, don't remove this because this is for the fire department so that they know where the battery is. So please make sure you keep that on there. And when you close this, there is some crumple. It's kind of a crumple zone, so you don't want to slam this down or else you could damage the hood. So what you do is you just put it to here and then you kind of pop it closed till you hear it close. So you don't have to put a ton of weight into it to close the trunk. And now the back opens the same way. So you just go to your app, pop the back trunk. Yes, I do want to open it. And same thing goes. We've got our reusable grocery bags already back here. And so the trunk has a lot of space in it. Both of my kids were able to climb in here with ease. And it even keeps on going. So if you lift this up, there's even more space all the way down here. So really it's like the trunk that keeps on giving. There's so much stuff. And this is also where they keep your adapters, your different charger adapters. So if you want, you can put this in the glove box or just keep it in the back. So if you're out and about traveling somewhere and you need to charge your car, everything you need is in this little bag. So this is back here as well. So I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with the trunk space. I feel like there's more trunk space in here than our Range Rover Evoque that we used to have. It's actually a lot more trunk space. So that's a great thing. And to close this, just close it like a standard trunk. Easy peasy. Now, if you don't have your phone with you, if you just have your key card, you can still unlock your car and you can pop your trunk the old-fashioned way. And so, just like any other car, easy to open. There is a release from inside, you know, if your rascally children get stuck back here or something. Hopefully that won't happen. There's also a release in the front. And the seats also fold down if you need the space, if you're hauling something big. We can't do that in ours because we've got our huge car seats, but there's a ton of space if you need to get something big. You can run it all the way through up to the front seats if you want to. Okay, so what's great about the inside of this car is that it is really spacious. The seats are super comfortable. I feel like even when I'm all set, my kids still have legroom in the back, which is really nice. And you control everything from this center console. So it's like a massive iPad that is the home base. So it keeps it all really clean. It did take some getting used to because your miles per hour shows up right here when you're driving. So that was a tiny bit of an adjustment because, you know, you're so used to looking right over here for all of your, data, driving data, all that stuff. So it's over here, but you've got your temperature, you've got your time, you've got your controls all right here. So if you want to adjust your mirrors left and right, you can click which one you want to adjust and then just use these little roller balls to adjust it. Super simple. If you want to open the glove box, you do that from here. Click it open. We've got our little first aid kit just in case something happens to the kiddos, and then close that up. And your temperature controls are also right here, so you can adjust those. You've got your seat warmers that you can adjust if we live in Colorado, so that's going to be super nice in the wintertime. Okay, and speaking of seat warmers, what's extra exciting about this car is that there's seat warmers in the front and the back. So check this out. I can adjust the heat to my seat, want to warm my tush. If my kids are in the back, although it's kind of hard with the car seats because you're probably not going to feel it, but if you have passengers without car seats, you can adjust the heating for them like that. So it's really great. I feel like this is going to come in handy in those colder climates for sure. So when it comes to your music options, you have a ton. So the car itself actually comes with its own radio streaming station called Slacker. And so what you do is to select that, you could just go to your music setting, to streaming, and then that comes up with this station. You can select which ones you want to listen to. This is kind of what came preloaded on the car. We haven't actually done this yet, but you can find, different, you can make your Slacker account, and then you can find different stations and select things based on your preferences, your different music tastes. The other thing that you can do is that you can just use the regular radio, or you can use your phone. Okay, and so when you're playing with your music, if you want to connect it to your phone, for example, you can connect it to, if you have Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever you play on your phone, you can either connect your phone via Bluetooth, or you can actually connect it here with the cord and have it go through. And the sound system itself is really incredible. So if you want to, just blast your music, you can turn it up easily here. Although I don't recommend going that loud, but the sound system is really great, so you'll never have to worry about that in this car. And so you have lots of options for entertainment when it comes to your new Tesla. And I'm excited to start my Slacker account and kind of custom pick my different stations, and of course stations for the kids, with the Kids Bop and all that stuff, the Disney movie soundtracks, all that stuff's going in here too. So if you want to connect your phone and make sure that it's charged, because, if you're relying on your phone to plug in, to unlock your car and all of that, you do want to make sure your phone is charged, because if it dies, you're out of luck unless you have your key card. So what you can do is actually have your phone here, and how you set this up is you just simply remove this. This is where you set your phone on. And then this also slides off. And now a charger does come with the Tesla, but it has a pretty short cord, so it's meant for a phone to just sort of sit in here. And if you have a thicker phone case like I do, because I keep my cards in the back, it's kind of a tight fit. So what we did is we just got another cord that's kind of longer, and you plug it in the back, just like most cars do nowadays, and then you run it through here, and then you put everything back and slide it on so that it'll look sleek. So this thing goes in pretty easily. You just snap it back in place, and then you take this and you put it behind the chargers, obviously, because you don't want to hide those. Just set it back there, and you can set your phone in and charge it in this thing if you don't have a thick phone case, or just plug it in like that. Set it on the edge. You can close this up, and so it looks pretty clean. And then you have even more space for storage here, which parents of the world, there's always stuff, right? So there's this initial part of the center console. This is where you keep, chapstick, Costco card, a little extra cash. You can pull this out, and then this thing goes forever. And so we've got baby wipes, we've got a hairbrush, because the kids always seem to have messy hair. So all this stuff is here. Put this down. It's clean. There's not a bunch of clutter everywhere. You've got your cup holders here, your 2 cup holders, as well as there is some space on either door if you wanted to maybe put a water bottle or something like that. So you can have that as well for beverages. Okay, so opening the door is pretty simple. It's a little button right here. It's kind of hidden and sort of looks like something to lock the car, but you just press your thumb and it pops open. Window goes down a little bit, and you're free to go. So something I love about this car, and that you'll probably read about pretty regularly if you're looking into getting a Tesla, is that its acceleration from 0 to 60 is incredible. It's in about 4 seconds. And so if you're trying to merge on the freeway and you need that get up and go, it can literally just take you in a matter of seconds to the pace of traffic. So in our other car, I felt like it took so long. We had this big hefty SUV, and it just took so long to get going that I'd get kind of nervous sometimes going on the freeway. But with this, I'm not worried at all. And I do have a little bit of a lead foot, so I do need to be mindful of that. But overall, it's something where you can get to the pace of traffic really quickly. And so, if you're at a red light, for example, and you need to get up and go, you will have no problem doing that. Now, the speed limit is going to be right here, so if you go 0 to 60, you can do it pretty quickly. I won't, so I don't get a speeding ticket, but it does take some getting used to looking down at the speed limit instead of looking straight forward or at the speed that your car's going. But I was actually kind of surprised at how quickly my eyes were able to adjust and get used to looking down just really quickly to see at what speed I'm going. So it's not something that I don't like. I feel like it just takes a little bit of getting used to. All right, so if you're taking your Model 3 to the airport, you can fit 2 suitcases in the back. It's pretty snug. You kind of have to shove it in there. You can fit 2 regular size suitcases in there, plus you still have room down below, which could fit depending on what your carry-ons are, or if you have a small travel bag, you could possibly fit that in there. And then if you go to the front of the car, you can fit your standard carry-on suitcase size easily in the front without any problems. So a lot of room in a small sedan. So a little thing about charging is that what we're doing right now, we're actually renting our house because we're building a house in another part of town. And so what we're doing is just using the normal everyday power outlet, 110 volts. And so what you get with that is about 3 to 4 miles of charge per hour. So they kind of call it the drip charge because it doesn't give you a lot. And so what we're gonna do is make a do with that. And so every time we're home, we plug this in. And so if you plug it in overnight, it will give you a fair amount of miles. And then if we get desperate, there are supercharge stations all over the place. But then what we're going to do once we get to our new house is we're actually going to get the 240 volt, the larger outlet, which there's an adapter for. It comes in your box with all your charging stuff. And we're going to use that instead of a large wall charger because with one of those you get 28 miles or so per hour of charge, which will be plenty for us in our normal day-to-day lives. So you don't have to pay the $500 for a big wall charger if you don't want to. Now, if you do suggest and refer a friend to buy a Tesla, you get a wall charger for free. So if you want to go that route, great, but you don't need to have it. So just a little piece of advice. And overall, it's just a super comfortable, sweet ride, something that I can now go to swim lessons and school. My kids go to 2 different schools at this point, so I'm driving all over the place and reducing my carbon footprint in the process. So I think it's pretty sweet, and moms of the world, I think you should get a Model 3. Alright, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below and subscribe for more videos in the future. I'll see you later.